If you haven't heard of Welcome Home, you are sincerely missing out. If you're interested in puppets, horror elements, ARGs, or just plain old pleasant art, I cannot recommend it enough. Though, if you clicked on this video, I assume you already have a great understanding of Welcome Home and what it's all about. If not, you should check out the website, which I will link in the description. Or you should check out Nightmind and Inside Out Mind's videos, which I will also link in the description. With that being said, you read the title. Wally's cognizance within the world of Welcome Home is very interesting, to say the least. There are several points across not just the website, but several places that point to Wally being aware on many different levels. The first place that this is evident is on the website itself. In the grand scheme of things, this is sort of a minor detail, but within the website, Wally is the only one to ever be looking at the camera, and therefore, the viewer. When you go through the neighborhood, introducing all of the characters, you're met with these dynamic, bright, beautiful images of several of the neighbors within home, displaying themselves very naturally. Absolutely none of them are looking at the camera though. None except our favorite puppet, Wally. In the first image that greets you when you open the site, there he is, sitting on a rock, looking directly at you. When you click on home, there he is, sitting on an easel, getting ready to paint, but looking at you. Even in the news section of the website, he sits in his chair, reading the newspaper, looking right at you. He's the only one who ever does this, so it's just him and you, staring directly at each other. The only exception to this is when we see a recreation of the Joyful Sisters poster, or when we're seeing reconstructed art. Because of the context of these being reconstructions, and not images originating from the site, I'm going to say this can be overlooked. Another very prominent area where we can see Wally's awareness in full swing is within the website's Guestbook. As we've all noticed, in some of these signatures within the Guestbook, there's a little drawing accompanying it. However, what you might not know is that these drawings are done by Wally Darling himself. He's such a little artist. If you didn't catch this detail, I can't judge you, considering I definitely didn't. When you left-click images and open them in a new tab, you can see that the image names are actually responses to whatever comment was left in the Guestbook. For example, Bittern writes, "I love Frank." Opening the little Frank sketch accompanying it reveals the response of, "I love Frank too. He frowns. I think he's funny." User Cloudy writes, "Hello, I love clowns. Show me one." And a picture of Barnaby is drawn with the response. "I do not know what clown is. I asked Frank. He said Barnaby. Here is Barnaby." Damn, Frank, what did Barnaby do to you? And here you could argue that it's some other entity like Home or the villain not yet known writing these responses, but this is not the case. We know it's Wally because of what user Cherry says. They say, "Wally, if you see this, you are gorgeous." And the reply with the cute little Wally drawing is, "Thank you, Cherry. I think I am pretty too." Oh, he thinks he's pretty. Well, this proves that Wally is in the website. Does it prove that Wally is aware of himself being a puppet in a show? Yes, it does. In Wally's response to user Piggy Pie, where they write, "I absolutely love it here. It's a wonderful place to be. Puppets are one of my favorites. The character design makes me feel so happy." Wally responds, with the picture of the pig, "I am a puppet. I am your favorite," demonstrating that he has made the connection that because he is a puppet, he is one of Piggy Pie's favorites. Further evidence of Wally's assumed awareness can be found in an audio test for Wally made by the creator a few years ago, in which Wally is prank calling the viewer. Because this audio file was never really canonical and is outdated, it's very flimsy at best and irrelevant at worst, but I still thought it was cool. Within the call, Wally says, well, many things, but he has a very curious line where he says,
"Very fuzzy. A little like me."
He knows that he is fuzzy, and that is cute! And this normally could just be written off as a self-observed feature, but combined with what can be found in the Guestbook, it's a reasonable conclusion to say that Wally knows that he is a puppet. He knows very well, which is kind of sad. He's aware that he's just a felt craft being moved around by the puppeteers. He only has slim sticks to move his hands, only being able to talk because of a hand shoved into his throat, and he just has to live with that knowledge. Awful. Because Wally is inhabiting the site like this and writing responses, I think it's safe to say that he's fully aware of the Welcome Home restoration project and the restorationist attempt to bring the show to light. Side note with some food for thought, I wonder how he feels about this. Does he understand why Welcome Home was cancelled? Does he understand why a group of people are trying to bring it back? How does that make him feel? Does he think it should have been kept hidden, or is he overjoyed at the discoveries of his old show? I guess we'll have to find out more as we go along. With that being said, I think Wally is fully in-verse and has no knowledge that this is an ARG, so let's just keep this all in universe, alright? The last instance of Wally being aware is especially frightening, and so are the implications that come along with it. This happens when you go to Welcome Home website but use a certain combination of letters. Specifically, these letters being VOYWEX. When going to this page, we're greeted with a pair of eyes. Wally's eyes. For a second, there's nothing but his dark eyes staring at you. Then text from Wally himself slowly starts to appear on screen. Hello, you're there. I can't see you. Do you see me? Then stay quiet. This particular line draws my attention, especially stay quiet. Through all of the Welcome Home media we've seen, Wally is known to be very friendly, inviting, and neighborly. So why is he telling us to be quiet like this? Well, Wally is not the type of person to tell someone to stay quiet simply because he does not want to hear them. There's something more going on. Wally is telling us to stay quiet because he's warning us. He's doing it for his, and maybe our, safety. Something is listening to us, and it is very dangerous. I honestly think that it's Home himself. While it could be some unknown character, I find that very unlikely. Though it is odd, Home has actually shown no sign of necessarily being an antagonist or an evil in any way. Home is actually very sweet looking. But I have no other ideas to who this could be, and as Clown said himself, Welcome Home is about the idea of the home. What does it mean? What does it look like? Is it yours? How does it treat you? Does it love you? With this explanation, I feel there is definitely an ominous undertone, and so I feel like Home could be an antagonist within the series. Or not. Who's to say? Wally's awareness within the series is something I still don't think we know the extent of. To understand why he's so knowledgeable about the world, we will simply have to sit back and watch the story unfold. One last thing before I wrap up. Within the site, there is a small comic with a single panel. It contains Frank and Wally. Frank says, "Frowning is easy, see?" And Wally simply responds, "Maybe for you, but not for me." This made me think a lot. Frank's puppet is built in with a frown. His mouth is naturally in an upside-down U shape. While other illustrations give him much more diverse reactions, his frown is usually his default. Wally, on the other hand, is always smiling. His puppet is built with that little smile. He cannot make any other expressions. He cannot stop smiling. Then there's the context of the image. Why were they even talking about frowning? Does Wally want to frown? Is Wally unhappy? Does he want to stop smiling? Even within the image, his eyebrow is sort of curled in a very specific way, conveying something other than happiness. I may very well be overanalyzing this, but I just found myself with several questions after seeing it. If you have any of your own theories, comments, or observations about Welcome Home, please feel free to comment them. I know this video was mostly repeated information that most people are aware of, but I feel like it's always brushed over in this type of context. Nobody talks about Wally how they do with, say, Monica from Doki Doki, when the two are both very aware of their own situation. I haven't seen anyone focus on Wally's awareness within Welcome Home, and I think it's a shame. Thank you very much for watching. I can't wait to see what happens next. I'm wishing Clown happiness and health. I can tell the passion they've put into this project and how much they want to do it, and, I just want the best for them. A little side note that I'm, slipping into the... Well, I guess it's not a side note. It's a whatever. But what if it's Wally himself sending the restorationists these, lost and damaged pieces of Welcome Home? I don't know how he would be doing it, but it would be really interesting if it was him. I mean, I think it's still a huge mystery trying to find out who it is. I know they have a name for themselves on this side. I just can't remember it right now. But yeah, so, I don't know, it could be Wally. Probably not. Watch me be, watch me be so wrong. It's, awful. Okay. Okay, bye for real this time.